Hello there everyone, my name is Heidi and today I'm going to show you my first bullet journal ever, which is the first part of 2021. So for the first part of this year I had a bullet journal from Notebook Therapy and it's called Tsuki Nara and it has this very beautiful linen cover, a very cute rose gold rose gold cutie deer, right? And autumn leaves, and it had some autumn leaves here on the spine, but as you can see they have very much faded. It also is very thick and you can see that really really holds. It is quite thick, so it has had a lot of exercise, so I can really recommend Notebook Therapy's bullet journals because they can take some thickness to them. So just the basic stuff are really, other than that it can take some paper between. It's durable indeed and I like the paper. Paper was very nice and I had nothing bad to say about it. I myself was the reason that some watercolors bled through because I used way too much water and I was still practicing, and I'm actually very happy that I chose this as my very first bullet journal and it holds a lot of dear memories to me, and I'm happy I chose a very beautiful one as my first one, even though the rose gold finishes has really a little bit rubbed off. But that's alive, I'm accepting that, and I knew that I won't be really treating this journal too much in care because I wanted to use it every way possible and try out new things and just practice. So yeah, it has elastic, which is very important I think because it holds everything in perfectly, and because this one is very thick already it would be quite horrible if there was nothing to hold it together. And at the back, well, this I did store some stuff in the back and I did use these two bookmarks occasionally, and as you can see they're at the end where I finished this journal actually. So let's go to flip through. First page is whatever it is. Oh yes, and the first ever theme I had for my general spreads at the beginning of my journal are Moomin cutouts from my old calendar and some black and white and winter theme because I started this during winter, and which is 1st of January. I wrote here some color keys and I never used them so I ditched that thing. And I also ditched grid spacing because I very rarely checked out my grids, like rarely. And this wasn't really that successful anyway. I didn't do it right, I think. But I always ended up counting them myself or just looking by eye that it's at least a little bit there. Yeah, that's maybe not the best idea, but that's what I did. Then I have here, I really love this skirt as I'm happy with the color theme I chose as my first ever color theme. Okay, these washi tapes are stuff that I have just hidden away from the eyes of others because I don't want to share everything. Yes, future log was very important to me. As you can see, I used it a lot because I do 1 month at a time, so I need some space to write future appointments and things to remember. So future log very important, and I needed a lot more space at some points, but it was actually pretty okay. It could have been more space, but I did do more space to my new bullet journal, and you can find that plan with me here on my channel too. I maybe try to link it down below if I remember. Then the causes page was okay. I did use it, but I didn't use it much, and was way too little space for me. I needed a lot more. So I didn't do courses page, but I did something similar but with more categorized spaces. The health tracker is a good idea. I did use it 3 first months. Then I kind of dropped it because I didn't want to get out the colors again and again and again. So I just ended up, doing some dots and crosses and stuff anyway, and I ended up doing health tracker, which is simply a period tracker because I didn't use it that much. I left out the headaches / migraines / stomach aches because, well, I don't know, I had maybe figured something else to track them down with, but for now I just think this was too much work for me and I forgot to fill it up. Then 1 book a month. Well, it was a good idea, this one. I didn't end up liking this bookshelf because I colored it beforehand and I didn't like them. But anyway, I have kept up with my 1 book a month deal, but I ended up making my own reading journal, which is why I haven't filled up these pages after the 2nd book. Then the goals was okay. That list set up for me the goals that I want to reach this year, even though I never look at these again. But at least I was aware of them, so that's why I kept this page. Then the video planner, which is kind of a video campaign, which I think I might do again, but in its actual way that it was supposed to be used, which is using post-it notes to mark every video and moving it around, because this, I definitely forgot to use this one. I only film 1 video at a time, so where the heck do I need a separate planner when I used the planning stuff during each month spreads? So this I just dropped during February. Then the content planner, very useful thing. I insert with you this because they're not really that spoilery, whatever. I kept this one. Then I added these 2 later on, which are pen ball themes. I got pen balls, so I wanted to kind of like track what kind of themes I used and whenever I had answered to whichever pen ball. And then I was very obsessed with good morning routines, so I wrote down what I wanted to do during my own morning routines, and I kind of ended up doing this kind of spread to my new bullet journal. Then the first ever monthly theme for me, which was Hollow Knight, and I'm actually quite happy. This is one of my favorites ever. This is where I started to use way too much watercolor. As you can see, it bled through. But I'm happy how this turned out, and it's very beautiful, and I put so much thought into this, and I'm happy I did because it paid out. It's very beautiful in my opinion. And as you can see, this calendar page was very important to me because I ended up using it a lot and putting down all the happenings to each day. And yeah. Then the university page was very important because there I have my schedule and deadlines and courses and to-do lists, and it was nice to have some place to write them down to. Even though if I never came back to it, I was at least aware once again what I need to do. Then the cleaning tracker is something I don't think I'm ever coming back to. I tried it again, but actually, honestly, cleaning tracker, I forgot to fill it up. It kind of helped with some stuff, but it didn't really help much. So it wasn't really useful at all. Also, I really love this color theme. And the habit trackers, I fell in love with habit trackers here. I used to track sleep back then, which I dropped around March, I think. But honestly, it was too much work, and I realized that yeah, I sleep whatever. I don't care. And yeah, it really actually helped me to read more, because I was like, I really want to mark here that I read this day today. So I think I read a couple of pages before I go to bed. It helped a lot. Also exercise. When you see no exercise during the whole week, you get ashamed of yourself and go to do exercise. And monthly goals, this is where the goals come back actually. Here I do my monthly things that what I want to reach, and then I check them when I reach them, and it was very useful, and I still use this one. And here, mood tracker, still something I use, and I think I'm going to go back to these feeling things because it's so much clearer. I can see what kind of mood I had, like what was the overpowering mood during this month and stuff. And absolutely, still again, must say that I love this. Then the content planner. I actually like this content planner, but it was one thing that was bad with it. That when I wanted to move something, there wasn't really much space to write a new thing. Maybe I should get corrector, the white tape thing that I put on top of it. Otherwise than that, it was nice that I could see everything in one spread. And but moving around wasn't easy, so that's why I at some point tried something new. Oh, then the New Year page, I wanted to add some pictures and memories of the New Year. And the first week is the very cute one, Crystal Caves, was it? I don't remember anymore. And the second week, as you can see, I used a lot of these weeklies because I needed space to add things that I need to remember, like lectures, courses, exams, video ideas, what I want to do every day. I will do lists. So these are very much used a lot, as you can see. A lot. At this point I noticed that there aren't actually enough space for me. Then I will skip one page because it's a memories page and I didn't end up covering it up and it's maybe too personal. Then highlights, I like this. Best memory never filled up, so I left it out after this. But I like that do a little bit of a recap what happened during that month, so I just don't go on and forget things. Then here's some shopping things that I did and got from them. Then February was my first time I wanted to try something easier other than, watercolors and drawing myself, because the first month was very, a lot of work. Basically, I wanted to try something easier because I was busy at university. So I printed some pictures of some gothic kind of ladies that I liked, and this is basically just black goth theme. And here's the Firekeeper from Dark Souls 3, and I used some flashy washi tapes and papers and black paper, and I really like the contrast of this. And this is absolutely one of my favorite calendar pages. I absolutely love this, how this looks. Okay, here comes a new thing. I tried time tracker, which I ended up leaving out because it was too much work every day to fill out my sleep time, and I tried to track my lecture times, my schoolwork times, my editing and filming times, but I ended up not using it much because I was also always forgot and I never tracked the time closely enough. So I filled it till the end, at least the sleep, but I ended up leaving out after that. Here I still try to track writing, even though I realized that I didn't write a lot. And I tried to add new things like no sweets and stuff, and mood tracker is basically the same still. As well as content planner, which is much cleaner now than the first one. Then the weeklies are again used, nothing new though, just the same stuff. I used a lot of black paper though, and I noticed that it was fine, but there was nothing I could do to highlight things really, so I used boxes. Then I noticed that the notes sections are important to me because there I can plan more clearly what I want to do each day, when there's no space, enough space for you to do that. And I started to use stickers to mark what I did during that day. Like there, I was shopping. Yeah. Then here's my birthday spreads. I wanted to save up the important dates and things during what I did during my birthday, and it was nice. I like this kind of spreads between my bullet journals. So I'm going to skip again the memory page. But after this, I didn't fill up my memory page much, especially when I got my own diary once again. So I started to use diary, obviously. So here I tried a little bit different kind of favorite things, like favorite book, favorite movie, and favorite memory. And it's fine because I wanted to use these cards, but I never used them again. So, and then I have my March theme, which was a wild one that I won't want to repeat closely. So whatever, I don't want to repeat this one. Anyway, I used D20 dice which decided my spreads. And there were some fails and some successes like this one. I absolutely loved this one. I haven't done this one if I haven't done the D20 challenge. Like adding a pink card behind the brown papers and prints actually. And I really like how it turned out. And it was experimental. I was still experimenting what I can do, what kind of methods I can use. And this was one good way to find out and try out new things. Even though it ended up with things like this calendar page, which is basically grey and watercolors and stabilos. But it was simple and nice, I guess. Okay, here came back to the cleaning tracker, much simpler this time, but I didn't end up using it that much either. So I decided to leave it out after this. And I like this mood tracker. This time I tried to just do some kind of like round shape and a little bit like clock because I had to use papers and I decided that this paper is good one here and stickers and this is what I came up with. So this challenge made me more creative at least. So maybe I'll try it out later with some kind of variation where I don't need to do it so difficulty because it took me like 2 whole days to film this many hours. I got really tired. Oh my god, I don't want to repeat that one again. And then there are these very bright pages that I wouldn't have done without this either. But then my weeklies are something that I don't like much. They are a thing. I just don't like them much. This one is again something that I actually liked. So, apparently I like brown in my spreads. So here's once again a memory page, which I end up using more as a list for what I did. And here are the rules for this challenge, which is a little bit shame I ended up doing it as a part of challenge because I can't really read this well. So, and then I did a spring bingo, which I ended up using for a while, but then I kind of forgot about it. Then here's the spread I did for my video, which you can find on my channel too. I introduced myself and it's fun. Kind of like just use whatever materials I wanted and do the color scheme I wanted and yeah. Then the April, absolute one of my favorite themes also, which is Disney theme and it's like one color Disney theme. Each spread is one movie and one color. Like here I have Rapunzel. I used lilac colors and Disney font, which I actually really liked and I want to use again at some time. And absolutely love this. I actually started to figure out this theme because I wanted to use this paper and I was like, hey, wouldn't it look nice to draw Rapunzel from behind where you can see her lilac flowers? And that's how this theme was created and I absolutely love it. This is very simple. It's not that much, but it was just a calendar page and I didn't know what to do with it. So it's not my favorite, but it's okay. Then, okay, I lied. Cleaning tracker apparently came back. Here is Snow White theme, which is red. And everything else is black and or gray. And, well, I had a much quieter month because it was already April and the university was about the end. And, yeah, I did end up using quite a lot of cleaning tracker, but not enough. I forgot whenever I did something and I wasn't sure if I did it and I didn't end up adding it in. If I'm going to compact cleaning trackers, it's this kind of very easy, simple kind of layout. Then I love this spread too. It's from Little Mermaid and with color green. So instead of coloring Ariel's tail green like it is, I used green everywhere else and only highlighted the tail with gray. And like the plants are gray, the background of this page is gray, and the bubbles are different shades of... Did I say gray? I meant green. My god. Different shade of green. Okay. And I really love this one too. It's Alice in Wonderland themed and a light blue, but I didn't end up using it much because I was very busy with my final exams and my bachelor's thesis, and I didn't end up doing much videos or using Instagram, but I really do like this and it's kind of shame that I didn't end up using it as much as I wanted. Then the weeklies, here is Mulan and Light Pink. Here is Beauty and the Beast and yellow. It's Hercules and gold. Here's Cinderella and blue, dark blue. And finally the Lion King and orange. As you can see, I really used weeklies again a lot because it kept me kind of in my schedule for my studies because there was a lot to do. And finally I have my highlights page, which is Aladdin and purple. And here you can see I have already just stayed with my personal loved and goals highlights. Then I tried out the money tracker, which I added at the end and like in the middle of the month. I didn't end up using it. I only used the things I wanted and saved spread where I write down things I wanted to buy but I didn't buy and see how much actually I saved money when I didn't go ahead and just buy that. I really need to control my buying. I already bought a lot of books lately, so I really should try this out again because I did try some kind of saving records. I just haven't filled out them out, and I think I should. It would do some good for me. Then May is once again experimental, and I decided I will only use like cutouts from magazines and some craft paper and washi tapes and some stickers. Do a little like spring theme, and it really worked out. Like I love this cover page. Like it was cute, and I used cutout letters and some beautiful brown. Brown and green is kind of like trying to be my main colors, even though I vary from it a little bit. And here I tried a new thing. I decided that I try to do a social media planner and my calendar at the same page. And I didn't do a lot of videos or posts or anything during May, so it didn't really end up well with this planning, but I started to try this color code system and it kind of worked. I still use this kind of color codes in my calendar page, even though I moved my social media planner away from it because it looks way too confusing and kind of discouraged me from doing videos and posts, and it's kind of cramped also. Then I had my study plan page, which should have been much bigger because it was very useful. I didn't add my schedule this month because I didn't have any lectures, so I ended up just writing down what books I need to read for my exams, or what kind of courses I have taken this year, what I still have to take, and my grades from them, and some important things I need to remember. As you can see, so many bladder, not used at all, but I like this layout, and I did use it later on too. Then I tried my ideal day, and well, it didn't end up well. I didn't really use it much. Figures. And here I tried a new mood tracker, which has a lot of more emotions and a lot of more colors. And as you can see, it's way too messy. And honestly, I can't say what I felt during that month. It's way too messy. So I did try it out one more month with only using one color during one day per day. But I ended up figuring out it's also very messy too. So the breakdown has like some things I did during that month. I kind of left out the memory page already a little while ago, and I ended up using brain dump apparently just to mark whatever I did during that month. And there I have also some planning for my courses and the rest of my university years. And I actually love this lilac theme I used here. Then the first weekly, again I started to use more stickers like Enjoys Shopping Dinosaur. It's very cute. And I ended up using a different kind of happy tracker, which I'm going to show here. I ended up using it at the edge of each week. And here you can see each. I didn't kind of like it. I like to see a whole month at a time. It did kind of end up, encouraging me to do more because I wanted actually some kind of something to show here. But I didn't end up liking it that much. This layout though is very nice. Maybe I'll do it one more time later on. But for now, I'm quite happy with this. And you can see that I have hidden many things. And the highlights page, I like this craft paper, and I do like quotes at the beginning, at the end of the spreads. It's nice to come back and read them again and see what kind of quotes spoke to me at the time. Well, and here is the first time I use 1 word a day spread, and this is how it looks filled up. And I actually loved it. At first I was like, is this really what I want to do? But then I really got into it, and I started to use colors and doing fun things and just using 1 word at a time to describe the day. Like here I have laziness. I was very lazy that day. That's pretty much the whole day. Now I know what was the highlight of the day. And here is the Fangirl by Rainbow Rebel. I read it that day till the end and ended up actually liking it. And it was a lot on my mind because I was thinking about it and writing a review and everything. Oh, here I wrote a Eurovision because I was watching Eurovision competition, and here I wrote sauna because it was sauna day and it really was the highlight of my day that day. Right, the final month of my first bullet journal, this is June, and once again it's an experimental one, but it's as much work as the first spread was here. And it's Dragon Age themed. And here's the dragon from the Dragon Age. I used watercolors. This time I knew how much watercolor I can kind of use, even though it came through a little bit, but it was much better this time. And this is quite nice. It's a little bit earthy and it has plants from Dragon Age. And here I still actually tried to use this kind of social media / my at-risk planning calendar together, and I ended up realizing that I tried to do it, and I ended up being discouraged because it's all here. And as you can see, my social media planner is over here, content planner. So it was really a drag to go around and check out what I was thinking about and see when I was supposed to post it or whatever. So it was a lot of work and I didn't end up liking it. This mood tracker was beautiful in my opinion. I'm happy with how this human being turned out to be. I'm better at drawing humans and this was a practice for me. And I like the idea of different potion bottles, kind of like being my moods, and it was fun. There's a lot of feelings, but I kind of missed the simple ones. Even though now I used only one color at a time, but still it's kind of hard to track down what was my most popular feeling during that month, because there's a lot of positives and negatives mixed up. Okay, then habit tracker, I finally got my stamps, which helped me a lot. I don't need to write out every single space for it. Like, thank you. It's amazing. Anyway, here's a budget tracker, budget review. I actually still haven't filled out from last month. I should do it because I really want to know if this is going to work out for me. But I know I spent too much money. It's my own fault. I'm done. And also goals are still here. And it was very helpful for me to see what kind of things I thought I would do during that month. And then at the end of the month, at the highlights, I would do what I actually reached. Like, I read more than one book, even though my goal was to read at least one book. One of my goals was film one video per week. I don't think I ended up doing this because I did 3 videos and it would have been 4. But that was still okay. And then every day Instagram, I didn't end up doing it. I didn't even write it down because I kind of dropped off Instagram for a while. And then I wanted to write about 10k words for my book, and I ended up writing 6.5k of words, so it wasn't that bad. But this kind of review system for my goals is very good. I kind of like, at the end of the month, I see what I have to improve on and some stuff like that. Then there's the other page for my 1 word a day. I wrote it wrong here, and as you can see, it's even more colorful than ever, and it's fun to see what kind of things were on my mind during that month. Here I have hidden a lot because it's content I actually want to publish and I don't want you to see. And here it's a nice bookshelf. I really liked how this looked like. I ended up leaving out blog things though, because that's not my main bond right now. And the brain dump is once again, oh no, that's impressive. So, and the weeklies, you can see I haven't filled out because it was finally holiday and I had nothing to do. And I just kind of let it be. I didn't end up filling anything. I didn't even end up showing anything on my Instagram after this point because I didn't really like them as much as I would have liked to like. But I think the break did some good for me. And here I tried to add a little bit of something like midsummer here with flower. And even though this is one of my favorites, I really didn't end up using it at all. But it's fine. And highlights I ended up using, and it was very good. And finally, I ended up adding at the end all the videos I made during this bullet journal, or the thumbnails of them. And I think it's a lot of fun to see them all like this laid out, even though it's a sappy thing to do. But I think it's a good thing to do, and I'm going to do it again. And I kind of see where I started with my thumbnails and how they look now, and I think they look so much better now. Then I ended up doing reflection, which I hid out because I don't want you to see it, it's too personal. And then I ended up doing spread themes of my months, and it's kind of cute. It was hard to do because some months don't have one exact theme. Like here is Hollow Knight, which is clear theme. Here is like Gothic Ladies, which wasn't as clear, so I ended up just drawing a Lilac Rose. Here's March, which was D20 challenge, and I probably should have drawn D20, but I ended up just doing some kind of colorful flowers. And April, Disney theme, very hot, but I ended up just using the flowers at the cover. Then May was spring, and June finally was easy one, which was Dragon Age. And here you have it. This is how much I had pages left, which is very little. I really did end up using this till the end. Like, here you can see my pen test page. Very messy. But oh my god, it was a journey. A lot of experimental things. Just trying to find out what kind of calendars I like, what kind of spreads I like. I ended up leaving out stuff, even though I must admit at the beginning of starting my bullet journal, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna, ever leave out any spreads because I have thought this through so well that I know what I want. But I ended up in the end noticing that that's not the case, and yeah. But it was good. I say that don't be afraid to use your bullet journal however you want. Be experimental, try out everything, even if it ends up being massive thing like this one. And don't be afraid if some things just bleed through pages. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I chose an expensive journal as my first one, which maybe is something other people want to avoid, and I totally understand you want to keep that beautiful notebook as good as ever, and I'm doing that to my next one actually. I'm not going to use any papers on that, but it's mostly because I'm going to carry it around a lot at university next fall, so I already know that it can't be as heavy as this one. This is heavy. I would not want to carry this one around at university and be like, yes, this is my calendar. What do you mean it's fat? Right. And what have I learned about this? I have learned that I really do love planning themes. I really do love being creative. And I have to say, and encourage you to be creative too, that try out the things you want to do. This made me kind of realize that I enjoy more simple themes. Like Hollow Knight, it wasn't simple to do, but the colors of it are simple. Like I have clear color themes for each spread. Like grey here, lilac and black, golden, blue, like just blue. I didn't color this anyway in any other way, and I love it. On the other hand then, I didn't end up liking this as much because I used a lot more color here. Like here, color. Here, color. Humans. Here, a lot of color. Color everywhere. Like, it's not bad, but it's not for me. I like simple ones. And the most ideal simpleness is this one. One color per spread. And then, otherwise, white, black and grey. That's kind of one thing I noticed, and I noticed also that I like to do lists. and they do help me with my work. They and habit trackers encourage me to do things during the day that I almost would have otherwise forgotten and not done at all. And it really haven't helped me out with waking up early. That's something I still need to practice. But I have enjoyed this first half of the year with my bullet journal, and I'm excited for my second half with my Scribbles That Matter notebook. It's gonna be fun. So thank you everyone for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you want more bullet journaling content, and if you want more book content and writing content, which I want to add more because I really love. I've been obsessed with reading lately, not so much with writing, that's sad, but I want to be more about writing, and I really love that one. Writing vlog I did, so I want to do more vlogs. And yeah, I hope you want to join me on my journey. And please follow me on Instagram. You can see some pictures of my spread over there. I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day.